Welcome to Nebuchadnezzar. This is a new game in the good old-time city building genre, which I have been waiting quite eagerly for. First of all, thank you so much to the developers for providing me with a game key. I am very grateful for that. Now, Nebuchadnezzar is a game which is very much in line with what you can expect from games like Caesar, Pharaoh, Zeus, or I don't remember what the American name of that series was. Master of Atlantis, I think. It was the Zeus and the Poseidon, the games there. And then, of course, also you had the Chinese one, which was something Empire. I don't remember exactly. But this is one of these classical city builder games where you build the houses. You have walkers. You have the warehouses, marketplaces. But it most definitely has its own little twist and take on things, and I've found that I enjoy many of the additions or variants that this game provides. So, I have played the tutorial missions. So the mission we are going to be playing now is the first mission after the tutorial is completed. And that is the default Nebuchadnezzar campaign, which will lead us through the whole history of ancient Mesopotamia and all that civilization's milestones from initial settlement to the fall of Babylon. Experience the story of one of the first civilizations, a civilization of imposing cities and grand monuments. So I've done the pre-pottery Neolithic A and B missions. I've done the Ubaid period in the city of Eridu. I have done Uruk, and I have done Jemdet Nuzzle. So all of these are the tutorial missions. So the first mission after the tutorials is the city of Mari. No, the city of Ur, actually. Mari is one of the trading, sorry. So we are in the early dynastic period, 2900 to 2350 BC, and the early dynastic period was a historical period in ancient Mesopotamia, whose predominant feature was the rise of highly organized city-states. So we have these typical objectives that you would, if you are familiar with these kinds of games from the old Sierra games. You have these typical objectives where you have to achieve certain numbers in the city. In this specific case, we need a population of 3,800. Then we have the prestige, which is rather unique to this game. In the older games, it was usually a scale from 1 to 100, but we'll get back to that. You need to have a number of houses at the given level, which in this case we need 32 spacious villas, and we also need to complete a monument, which is a temple. The description of this scenario is rather long, but I think I will read it anyway. You can just skip forwards if you want to go to the gameplay. The early dynastic period in ancient Mesopotamia ranged between 2900 and 2350 BC. During studies of this period, emphasis was predominantly placed on southern and central Mesopotamia, with archaeological digs dating back to the 19th century. It is now clear that adjacent areas such as northern Mesopotamia and western Syria shared many social and cultural elements as well as trade activities with these areas. The abundance of written findings in various languages allow us to approximately determine the ethnic composition of the Mesopotamian populace for the first time. The findings suggest that southern Mesopotamia was inhabited primarily by Sumerians who spoke Sumerian, a non-Semitic language. However, this language was probably already in use in preceding periods. More northern areas were inhabited by a Semitic population that spoke a language sometimes called Ancient Akkadian. Irrigation technologies underwent gradual improvements during this period, and southern Mesopotamian agriculture is considered to have been the most productive in the Near East. This also allowed for the creation of a highly developed urban society. It is expected that in some areas of Mesopotamia, up to 3/4 of the Sumerian population lived in cities. However, urbanism also underwent great strides in adjacent areas, and we even see the rise of the first large states, such as the Kingdom of Ebla in western Syria and the Mari Kingdom on the border between Syria and northern Mesopotamia. In southern and central Mesopotamia, however, city-states remained the primary state units. Nevertheless, cooperation, as well as competition between them, was steadily growing, and we can also see alliances forming. The so-called dynasty controlled between the 26th and 25th centuries BC. This had a great influence on all southern Mesopotamia and even led an alliance of city-states in the region. Back then, was very rich, and findings from royal tombs suggest a significant amount of foreign trade. Trade connections were established with areas located, for instance, around the Indus River, as well as in today's Turkey, Egypt, and Oman. So this little triangle here, that's us, and us. And our potential trade partners or rivals would be Lagash, Uruk, Umma, Adab, Mari, and Ebla. And this is the Marionette Kingdom, this is the Eblaite Kingdom, and this of course is the city-states of Mesopotamia where we are. Let's go in. We'll just pick the at ease difficulty. It's not really that much of a difference, but just for the... I'm still rather new to the game, so I like to play through games like this on the easy difficulty before I try the harder difficulties. Especially when I'm recording. After overthrowing Lugal-Kitun, you, King Mesanebada, the king of Uruk, wrested control of the city of Your task now is to strengthen your position and government. Supporting trade with neighboring cities as well as foreign trade seems to be the best course of action. For the glory of Alright, so the first thing we'll do is pause the game, where we will have a little look around. I have enabled some specific options in the game, which means I can zoom very far in. When I do that, you can see that things become a little bit blurry, but I can also zoom very far out. This is the entirety of the map. Now, the user interface, I like it very much. It is very clean, very organized. We have the building stuff down here. We have various resources that we are able to produce on this specific map, and this has extended. Like in the first maps it was only these three, and then it became these, and then that one came, and these came, and now these are new to me. So these are in order of appearance. Geesh, brain freeze there. Grain, bread, or wheat. Wheat, bread, milk. This is clay. Ceramics, bricks, fish, dates. I think that's bronze, and this probably is some kind of jewelry. Copper workshop. So it's copper. Okay. We are in the month of May. We have two different types of population. We have the peasants and we have the townsfolk. I would not be surprised if this is... we get nobility later on. Over here we have the help section. We have... And you can also, when you've opened one of them, you can also... Like that one will take us to that one. This is the prestige. We have the statistics for our goods and services. We have trade and diplomacy, where we can't see the two other kingdoms up there, but we can see a city down here, Magan. We have our mission, and we also have the production chains. And this production chain chart is very nice actually, because you can see that you start out with a shack, but to upgrade a shack to a poorhouse, you require wheat from a crop farm, you require bread, you require milk from a livestock farm, And when they have a supply of that, they will upgrade from a shack to a poor house. And then a poor house will upgrade to a standard house if provided with the chain clay to pottery or ceramics and water. Then the next one, which is the townsfolk level, is the villas. These require dates and fish. And to get the standard villa into a spacious villa, they will also require coppery jewelry. Coppery jewelry, that's a fancy way of pronouncing it. Copper jewelry. And they also need priests, which comes from a priest's quarter. Now, one of the challenges of this game, obviously, is the irrigation, which is what the Mesopotamian era is famous for, I believe, historically. So we need to find a place to start out with our farms, but we also need to pay attention to the fact that we are going to require some space for fisheries and also for docks so that we can do trade. We have money. All buildings cost money to build, and you will be bailed out once, usually. And after that, you are stuck. I have not reached taxation as of yet, so the way that we make money currently is through trade, and I'm not sure if that is how it's going to be for the entire game. But as long as we have a way to make money, I am happy with that, and trading is actually quite fun. Now, there are different types of terrain as well, which is relevant for me to mention before we start. You can see that some tiles are just blank. These tiles are, I think, sand. Then you have these tiles here. Those are rocky. Now let me take an example here and pick a well. So you can see I can build a well on a sandy area, but I cannot build it on one of those rocky tiles. It must have all tiles on sand. Or I could also build it on the fertile land, which is indicated by the grass there. So, where do we begin? I think we will begin by putting down some farms. You can see that each building has, or at least for this one, it has two radiuses. The innermost is the green rectangle, and the outermost is the blue one. The green one is the actual range of operation for the building. That is where I can plant crops. Whereas the blue one is the range of the building itself. And that is very important in regards to where the delivery men and women from the buildings are able to go to. So if I have a warehouse outside of that blue area of influence, it will not automatically be transported any goods to that warehouse. So that is another, or that is one of the new features of this game that it adds an additional level of challenge, and I found that I've enjoyed that quite a bit. I think we will build this farm here. There is a reason why I'm keeping the game paused. This farm will require a road, so we'll build that. And obviously, it will also require irrigation, because this is infertile tiles. As you can see, if I want to plant something, that does not work very well. It looks very dry. Now, another new thing with this game, and I enjoy that very much as well, is the ability to add or even remove workers from the building. So each of these cards here represent a certain amount of workers, and each building has a certain amount of cards available. I'm going to call it cards. It's not really cards, but what you can see here is that we have two farmers, or two farmer cards, and we also have one transporter card. Each of these one require 27 workers each, and each transporter for this specific building requires 18. I'm not sure if this is a global one. I haven't paid attention or looked for that. So currently we have the need for 27 plus 27 plus 18 workers for this building, which should be 72, I suppose, since we now lack 72 workers. The next thing we are going to do here is set up an irrigation pump. Now, keep in mind 3 out. So let's see, irrigation pump, we can have one there, and I also want one there because adding more pumps means, of course, that you can, let's see, if I pull this down there, now I pull it over here, you see, now it's dry because the pump is not able to pull water longer than here. If I attach this, and voila. I think I want to have that up there, but it's going to be dry. Okay. I can fix that 2 ways. 1, 2, 3. Where is the corner? Is there. So I can have pump up here as well, so I'll do that. The pumps are a bit expensive at 50 each, but it's fine, really. There we go. Now everything here is green. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge, this map, actually. Because I'm going to need quite a bit of farms. And again, there's the option of having a farm down here, for instance, and there's a nice little oasis thing here. Yeah. Haven't looked too closely at the map. Now this one, as you can see, is fertile. And you can see this one says 1 out of 18. So, let's add tiles. Now we have 18 and 9. Yeah, I'm gonna have an irrigation canal go like that as well. It's very unlikely that I will have a road down there, actually. Let's just do that, because I want to make sure that I have these tiles green. And that means I can actually remove 1, 2, 3. I want to have the warehouse here. So we can add 9 more farm tiles. There we go. Let's add another cart. Just click this little plus sign in the corner, add a farmer, and then we can add 18 more. So we have 3 farmers working here. And then we need a warehouse. Put that there. Warehouse controls are, for those of you who are completely new to this genre, this probably looks very confusing. But basically, when you want to accept a good, this diamond here needs to be lit. There's a configure all, so we're going to set this to accept nothing. And then we will set it to accept wheat, and only wheat. There is also this little thing here, which is to configure caravans. I'm going to set this to red now, and I'll get back to Y later on. Now the next thing we are going to need is a livestock farm. Yeah. I'm not too sure about these rocky things when it comes to farms. No, it does not want to be placed on those. So then I probably want to build the road here. And we need more irrigation canal. And I need more pumps as well. There's only room for 1 irrigation pump here. I'm not sure that's gonna do the trick, to be honest. So let's put down 2 of them. Okay, then I can go up again so that I can get these green. And we need this road to go 1, 2 there. No, there. This is going to be this is going to be challenging compared to the previous missions. Yeah, that won't work. I'm spending money on this, which is not ideal. Thankfully, they are not very expensive, but still. If I put an irrigation canal there, yeah, good. So then we're gonna have some pastures. Need to move this. 27, 36, that is 2 times 18. And this is also 18, that is very handy. So we can add another worker card. 18, 18, 18, excellent, excellent. And now we can build a warehouse for milk. And we do that there. And I don't need the canal to go all the way down there, so then we can add the road going down here. And if you're wondering what this is, because of the road going there. And now we need to find a place to put our citizens, and I think that we're going to do that here. So let's add a road like that. And then we need to go into the houses, and first of all we need to have basic houses. Now there is one thing I want to do, and that is do this. Actually, another one, and then remove those. And I probably remove the rest of the road here too, to be honest. So I might as well do that right away, because I want to use this space as well. Then we go to houses, and we're going to build 2 rows of houses like this with a road. Then we'll have another road going there. And eventually I'm going to build houses there as well. So I'll just do this and then this. So there's a starting grid for regular farmers. I don't think we need anything else at the moment. Now they're going to be able to pull milk directly out of there, because if I go into a poor market, yes, that is perfect. However, we are going to need the wheat to be transported out of that area. So before we do anything, let's set up a warehouse there. And let's remove the road here as well and make a direct connection there. So they have to travel up through the city to get out of the map. And on this one, we are going to set it to accept bread. And now I'm going to do that little green arrow there. I don't know how necessary that will be. No, that won't be necessary at all, actually. And we also need to build a couple of bakeries. 2, 3. So if I have a warehouse here, it is covered. And it's covering... Good. So we'll have 2 bakeries here. Now we can also add workers to this. So we need a warehouse here. This one is also going to accept wheat, but this one we need to set the green arrow for. And now we come to the part where those arrows are relevant, because the last thing we are going to need to build before we unpause the game is a caravanserai. Did I pronounce that correctly? Now the caravanserai, you can have 4 workers here, and each of these caravans, they can transport up to 20 goods. So we're going to set this to take wheat. And now we need to do waypoints. So we're going to add this warehouse, hence the red arrow, which means it's going to pick up the wheat in this warehouse, and it's going to transport it over there. Thus the green arrow in that warehouse. So we're going to have a caravan going back and forth between these 2 buildings, making sure that any wheat in here is going to be transported over there. And with that, we can unpause the game. The citizens are coming from up north. The first settlers have just arrived in your city. Take good care of them. You'll need them. Welcome. Now, as you can see, we are sorely lacking workers. 290, well, it's going rapidly down now. We have our caravan guy moving back and forth here. This should be enough workers to satisfy our demand for workers. For the wheat, wheat is a seasonal crop, so for now these guys are waiting for the next vegetation phase. However, the milk, I'm not sure if it's goats they are milking, probably. Those are working all year round. So we just need to wait for our wheat farmers to start planting, and also, of course, we need to wait for that wheat to be transported so that the bakers can start doing their thing. The planting season has started. That is in February. We can speed up the game a bit while we wait. We have an excess of 127 workers currently, so 27% unemployment level. But I haven't seen any negative effects of having unemployment, so... And here the guy is transporting the wheat over. That was the end of that season. Now our bakeries are going to start working. This warehouse will start accepting bread, and as soon as there is a little bit of bread in the building, like maybe 1 stack of 4, I will start dealing with the markets. Here we have our first 2 bread. And I really like this style of music. Very pleasant. Okay, now we have 4 stacks of bread. So, let's go into the services and select a poor market. And I need to have 2 of these, and I'll explain why later on. Let's place down 1 of them. Now, we have 2 transporters here, and that's it. So we need to add 1 worker who is a seller, and we want this seller to sell milk. Now they're going to pick up the milk, that's the transporters doing that, but this walker doesn't know where to go. So this is one of the new brilliant things in this game that I really like. We have to set up the walker's route. So we'll do quick little... I like that waypoint strictly isn't necessary, but I like to do that anyways. So it has this square, or yeah, that it's walking around. Now it's providing all of these houses with milk, as long as the market has milk, of course. Now we need to set up a similar walker for bread, and instead of setting up the entire thing again, I can just click this, boom, and it copies. I hold over, you see the green flag means copy this route. And now they're upgrading to level 2, which is a poorhouse instead of a shack, which means we're going to have more people. Getting a tiny little bit of prestige from the fact that we have houses. Prestige is probably the most difficult resource to get in the game. You need to be very careful about managing your prestige, because it is such an important thing. You can also see the operating range, so you can see that these guys are able to pick up goods from all the way over there. Now we have a lot of excess workers, so I'm thinking that we should set up another wheat farm, actually. Yeah, that looks good. Am I allowed to... no, I can't go all the way out here, can I? Well, I can, but the question is if I can have irrigation all the way out there. I'm definitely going to need another pump. Just doing 1 and 1 here. Yeah, that's a dry spot then, and that also dried out a couple of these. So I need 1 more pump. Okay, I think all of them are covered now. That should be sufficient. I don't think we can have 3 workers in this one, but at least we should be able to have 2. That's 18 plus 5. 9, 12, 18. This is actually... we can have another worker, interestingly enough. I did not expect that, so let's put in another worker card. Good timing as well. And then we build a road. Now, instead of spending money on building another bakery, let's just add 2 more baker cards to these buildings so that we get, in effect, the same as building a new building. We have plenty of milk, so I'm not too worried about that. Bread is the limiting factor at the moment. Let's build a road here. I want to have a warehouse down here that can take ceramics for when we are going to start producing those. I also need to be aware of pollution. There is a overlay here, which will show you the pollution. Red is pretty bad, so I am slightly amused that farms pollute, but I guess they might be using manure or something as fertilizer, and that would of course count as pollution. Now for the higher tiers of population in your city, you don't want pollution. I'm sure this comes as a major surprise to everyone. We have 388 workers in excess, and we need to start looking into ceramics. This area out here looks like a good place for that. We need to build clay mines. Now these also do not fit over the rocky terrain, which probably isn't a big surprise. I think that we have 2 clay mines here. I'm not sure. We want a warehouse. Yeah, that should be good. We want a warehouse there. Let's set this to only accept clay. Note how it works without having to connect it up to the rest of the road system, by the way. But if I want to transport this into somewhere, I need the road, so I'm going to build a road up here. Between those rocks looks like a good place, and then we can do that. And we want to put down a warehouse here, and we will configure that to only accept ceramics. And the next thing we are going to need then is ceramics workshops. We can have 2 of them here. And we'll build a road around. Now these can both go to the warehouse, but it can also go directly to the clay mine to get what it needs. We have 100 workers in excess. One of these is 27, and one of these is also 27, so... They produce goods at the same speed, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio for these workers' cards. Then we also want to have a warehouse. What's the operating range of... I just want to make sure that I use this space down here to the fullest extent. Okay, so that would cover. Which means that I want to have a dirt road going up here. And then I want, not a caravanserai, but I want a warehouse here. This warehouse will only accept ceramics. And let's go here and add another card here, so that we can have ceramics transported from there to there. Where do I want to have the elite part of the city? Maybe down here. And we can have farm out here. There should be yeah, there's fish out here, so we can have fisheries and date growing in this area. That would be good. Let's add another row of houses here. Actually, we can just add both of them at the same time. Since there is no negative effects to having unemployment, well, it actually might affect the prestige. I saw something from the dev today saying that it is not a good idea to just plonk down houses randomly because it affects the prestige. But I didn't read the entire conversation, so I'm not sure why. But I guess it has to do with unemployment, actually. Not that this is an issue, because we're going to need these workers, trust you me. That means that one of them do not have a route that is working. And the reason why he doesn't have a route that is working is because I have not set this to be a loading place or exporting place, and I have not set this to be an unloading place. So he didn't have anything to do. Now he will pick up 20 of these and happily deposit them here. Perfect. He will go back to the caravanserai and then he will come back down here again. Great. The next thing that... Yeah, I'm gonna have to build another market. Build that there. We need a bread walker. And this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need a milk walker, and we can just copy. Now both sides are going to receive bread and milk, which will also upgrade this side of the little worker town or farm town into poorhouses instead of just shacks. The next bit, yeah, we're going to have more bakers. That should be under food production. So let's put down 2 more bakeries. Need to be careful with the money. Let's have a look at the trade and diplomacy currently. We have Magan. We have no diplomatic relations with those. Lagash, they will want us to give them either fish or bricks. No, copper to initiate contact. Umma, we need 120 prestige before we can talk to them. Adab, we need 80 prestige. Uruk, we need 40 ceramics to initiate contact. Well, they will sell us copper. Okay, as soon as we have the ceramics, not on him, but so that we can do this, because I think trading in ceramics would be a good idea. We can add workers to this building and this building. No, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And there. So we have a cold relation with them. That affects us badly because it's 9% added prices for import and 9% less prices for export. They will send 2 trading ships per year. And they will buy copper or ceramics, and they will sell us fish. Now we need to have a place where we can build a dock. And that area need room for warehouses as well. Let's see here. The dock is really expensive to build, actually. 250. People are leaving. Yeah. They're not receiving enough bread. You use R to rotate. This is not an ideal position. They're coming back. Well, I'm not able to build it here anyways. This is definitely a bad position because there isn't room for warehouses there. So I'm guessing we will have to go somewhere where we have more room. The only place I can find is here. Yeah, that should work. With the road going here. So 1 warehouse, 2 warehouses. 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that works. And we need a road to go out here. And then we need a warehouse. Build that there. And set this warehouse to accept ceramics. I don't need it to take 36, so let's just set it to take 20 for now. And then we go to the caravanserai, and you will set a waypoint number 3 here. And then you have to also manage the amount of goods you're going to want to trade with them. Here. Now, Uruk will accept up to 50 ceramics per year, and currently I'm just going to set it to export 50. Oh no. No, I don't want to import. So we're going to sell them up to 50 ceramics per year at 23 per unit. That'll give us 1,150 in income, which is decent. It's not good, but it's decent. But because we also are needing ceramics in our own city, I'll put down 2 more clay mines. And add workers to them. And I'll also do the same with the ceramics workshops. Put down 2 more of those and add workers to those, because we are going to need quite a bit of ceramics for our citizens. That is the next level. You can see 3rd level is ceramics and water, so we need that. And I want to make sure that we are trading efficiently with them. So here's the little ship is coming in here, and there is ceramics waiting for it. And there we go. You made a little bit of money there. Okay, so I'm going to pause the game here, and we can continue this in the next episode, because this is going to be... I'm going to play at least this level, so I don't know how many episodes that'll take. Some things are going to take a little bit more time than others. Monument building, for instance, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I don't want to spoil too much about that. The one thing that I will do before we end this episode, is that I'll build a road there, and I'll build a road there, and I will remove this squiggly thing here. There we go. So if you have any questions or comments, do feel free to leave those in the comment section of the video, as always. The game has a Discord, official Discord, where you can go to talk to the dev directly if you're interested. And as always, also we have our own Discord, which you will find the link to in the description. And I'll provide the link to the description. I'll provide the link to the Discord of the dev as well in the description, actually, so that if you're interested in the game, you can go directly there from the description of this video. For now, thank you so much for joining me, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode.